All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope that everybody is having a great day so far. I had one of my favorite subscribers that supports the channel a lot through comments, which really helps the algorithm. It helps with views. It helps encourage me because he's always pretty positive and he's asking good questions, not derogatory questions or criticizing things. He's always saying something positive, and he just seems to be a really supportive part of this channel, this subscriber. So he asked me the question, what pistol do you choose for competition, or what kind of decisions lead you to making the decision on which pistol do you use for competition? And I basically told him that was a loaded question because it really is. I think you do have to understand me in order to understand the answer to that question. And it really is completely random as far as like what I shoot for competition. And there's several reasons for that. Uh, I know that I could jump up several ranks, like from sharpshooter, marksman to sharpshooter, and sharpshooter to expert to master. I could probably jump up several ranks a lot faster in IDPA, because that's all I've shot so far is IDPA, if I was to take one pistol and shoot it every time at every competition, just shoot the same pistol at the house, practice with it, go to competition and shoot the same pistol every time. That I would develop a muscle memory that in turn would help me do better in competitions. I have no doubt about that. And I have no doubt that I could jump up at least one or two ranks fairly quickly by shooting the same pistol. But as y'all have seen through my videos, if you're a good supporter of this channel and you've watched several of these videos, you know that I change pistols a whole lot for competition. And that goes back to the fact that, simply to answer that question, I'm not just a shooter. I'm not just a guy who likes competition shooting. I'm not just a guy who likes collecting, but I like collecting. So I kind of, let me just put it this way. I'm a collector. I'm a gun tinkerer. I like to share experiences. I like to learn new things. I like to learn new weapon systems. I like to understand the engineering behind certain guns. I'm somebody that really likes to take a specific gun and make it better than what it was originally. I think that's one of the most funnest things to do in this industry, is to take something that's pretty good and make it a lot better. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so I consider myself my hobbies would be not just shooting. So it'd be a combination of shooting on the flat range behind the house, shooting at competitions, gunsmithing, amateur gunsmithing, doing basic things with guns, and maybe a little bit beyond amateur, but pretty close. Collecting different guns that I kind of like, that are within my budget, or I might seem practical for my life and what I like. So it's a combination of all those things that kind of leads to that answer. And so it really is completely random, because if I'm doing a project on a certain gun and I'm trying to make it better, it may be the gun that I want to take to competition, because I've been doing a project on it to improve that gun's performance and just to learn that weapon system. So I enjoy doing different stuff, and it allows me, because I have a YouTube channel, I kind of just bring y'all along for the ride. I want to share my experiences, but this isn't really for y'all. It's for me and getting to share my personal experiences with you guys. So that, if I have a project that I'm working on and a gun that I like, that I think can make it better, I can make it better, and I might do different things to it through the months. And if I'm focused on that project, I may shoot that gun. If I'm not focused on any projects, yeah, I'd probably prefer to shoot my Masterpiece DS9 hybrid set up for IDPA, or my Canik Rival S, because those are just the easiest guns to shoot fast and accurately, but consistently. Those are the two easiest ones. So if I had to just choose two guns to just do well in competition, I think I would choose those two guns, are the ones I have, and eventually would like to have more guns in that same kind of space of just a great competition gun. But I have a lot of guns that are cheaper and concealed carry guns that I carry with me sometimes, or projects, and I like to take them to the competitions, because I really feel like you can give an actual real world review, because you see the worst in a gun at the competition at competition matches. You know, you're going to see the very worst performance. If the mag releases don't work good, if the slide release don't work good, if the gun has reliability issues, you're always going to find these things at the competition matches. I mean, those things are always going to come out. I've seen people take the very best guns. They said they'd never had a problem with it, and not every time, but all the time, I find people that say this gun's never been unreliable, and then I take it to the range to shoot competition, and it's unreliable, or it has this problem or this issue. So you see the worst of guns in the competition space. So it's just a way I can test my projects, try different things, give advice to other people maybe buying that same weapon system. So that's really what I go on. It's not so much about being the best ranked, highest ranked IDPA shooter that I can be. I'm fairly new to IDPA, and I said all that about the gunsmithing and the collecting and the tinkering and the shooting. I like all those things, but I also like self-defense tactics and training and learning that I've gained a lot of experience through just knowledge and taking up as much knowledge as I can from other people and being around other shooters. I like church security tactics and knowledge and understanding that kind of thing. So I like those kind of things. So there's two dream jobs I really have. Well, maybe three. One would be have my own gun shop. One would be to have maybe a smaller gun shop that just does upgrades and tinkering on guns, that mostly just focuses on upgrading of guns, not selling guns. And the other one would be teaching gun training, basic gun training and tactics. I mean, those three things are my dream job if you could just make enough money doing it, and you could put yourself in a space where you could easily sustain your life and your family's lives in that space. I would do those things. So that's just giving you some background on me and what I think about things and how I think about things. So picking guns for competition, it all boils down to what my project is, how much I like a certain gun. I won't bring things to competition. I won't bring guns to competition that I don't feel like I can shoot to a certain percentage of that level of that weapon's potential. So if I can shoot in, say, the top 40% of that potential of that weapon, I'll take it to competition. If I feel like it's a gun that I won't really be proficient with, or I don't have enough knowledge of, I won't take it to competition. So that's one of my key factors, is I have to understand the gun enough. It can be a brand new gun, but it has to be similar and feel similar to something else enough, or have enough gun experience where that weapon system is so familiar to me that I feel competent enough to shoot it at a certain level of competency, I guess is what I'll say. So that's one of the number one factors, but I only shoot red dots at competition. I don't see the point, and I don't really like iron sights anymore. I don't carry iron sight guns, and I don't see the point in training or shooting competitions with iron sight guns. I do at the house shoot iron sight guns. I like collecting iron sight guns. I like having some of them, but they're not really, I don't find myself quite as proficient, and I feel like there's advantages to red dot guns at speed and with accuracy that you don't get. So I don't know why I would not. If I can afford to do it with a red dot, I won't do it without. And I don't want to be a master IDPA shooter in 5 different gun categories. I don't care nothing about that. That's not my thing. My thing is to develop muscle memory and skills that will help me in a real world situation, help me protect my family where I'm a little bit above average, the average shooter. So that maybe that means if I get in a gunfight with somebody, or I have to protect my family, absolutely have to. I'm putting that in perspective. I absolutely have to draw my gun. That may be more than likely my skills will be a little bit better than the other person with a weapon or whatever is trying to hurt me and my family. So that's pretty much it. It's all based off the projects I'm doing. It's all based off what I want to do next, what I want to learn next. But yeah, I do want to have periods of time where I can focus on one weapon systems and bettering just my ability to shoot competition better. I do get frustrated in the competition world when I'm jumping around from gun to gun, and sometimes my muscle memory is off, and I may get used to one gun and then I switch to a different system, and it kind of does hinder me accuracy wise or time wise, or I make mistakes because of that system's a little bit different. It does frustrate me because I am a little bit competitive. I'm not as competitive as others. I'm more competitive against myself and what I know I can and can't do than I am against other people. I don't mind losing to other people. I know I can't be, I know I'm not going to be first place in IDPA when somebody spent hours and hours on the range that month, and I've spent literally maybe an hour on the range, and they've spent 25 hours on the range, and they've shot 3,000 rounds on the range that month, and I've shot 100. I'm not going to beat that person. I mean, that's just the realistic expectations. I'm not going to beat the person who shoots thousands and thousands of rounds with the same gun, maybe even loads their Pacific rounds. I have a reloading kit, a reloading setup, but I don't reload much. Some of those guys load their rounds specifically for their gun to be easy to shoot. They train very specific. They set up stages to train for very specific things for IDPA. They shoot multiple competitions a month. I'm not going to beat those guys. I'm just not that gifted naturally. I mean, there might be some people that's that gifted, but I don't know of many that's that gifted. So I'm not one of those guys. I'm not expecting that. But I am competitive to a certain degree, and I do want to do the best I can do for what time I have, with what little precious time I have, and I'm not spending time with family. So that's kind of the answer to that question. I know it's way too long, but it was complicated, and I think you got to know who I am in order to understand how I feel about what weapons I choose to shoot in competition. So God bless. Have a great day. And if you have any questions that kind of want some more details about certain things that I said, let me know. God bless. Bye.